Hi, I'm Dennis Welsh, President and CEO at Down East Community Hospital. I'm here to talk to you today and to consider the expansion project that we have planned in our emergency room. Right now, we're out of space. We're at that point where for us to continue to delivering the quality care that we do, we're going to have to expand that emergency room. I'm hopeful that you can listen to the folks out there who have been our patients who've received excellent care over the years here from our emergency room.
It's end of March, and it was a nice sunny springish day, and I was out in this direction, and I was clearing some wood on the ground. Wasn't doing anything too dangerous, really, because I'm not really a woodcutter. I'm not a tree person. And as I was bending over to cut some logs on the ground, something hit me from behind and threw me onto the ground. There was like this sensation of funny bone sensation going through my body at the time. I got hit in the head, broke my earmuffs. I walked home and put my chainsaw in the garage behind me, walked into the house, and that's the last thing I remember.
The night before, I had attended my oldest granddaughter's volleyball game, and I was really feeling quite sick. It was a very cold, rainy night, and I'd sat there with a lot of severe chest pain, which wasn't very intelligent on my part. So I came home and I went to bed, and then early that morning, I awoke with like a truck sitting on my chest, and I could not dial 911. So I crawled probably about 20 feet upstairs to my spare bedroom window. And I knew I could hear neighbors outside, so all I could do is let one scream out of me. And the next thing I remember, I was in Down East Community Hospital.
On May 23rd, 2006, our 7-year-old son Damon fell down an unfinished cellar hole while we were building an addition to our house and suffered a traumatic brain injury. At the time, we scooped him up, didn't wait for an ambulance, headed to Down East Community Hospital, and realized really quickly once we got here, they immediately got him in, bypassed everybody else, got him in the CAT scan machine, and realized that he had bleeding in the brain, and there was nothing they could do. They had to life flight him out.
I went upstairs. I even before going upstairs, I told my wife, oh, I think I had a close call, something like that, but I'm all right. And walked upstairs, sat down on our lounge and started to read. And then 2 or 3 hours later, I guess I started throwing up. And my wife got me down the stairs and into the car, and she drove me to the hospital. The emergency doctor at hand started to investigate what had to happen. I guess the hospital did all the things it had to do, probably x-rayed me and all that. Realized that my condition was fairly serious. They call this a walk, talk, and die. Normally, there would have been a life flight that took me from the Down East Community Hospital to Bangor, but the weather was such that it was not safe to bring a helicopter in. So they had to do emergency work on me at the hospital. They got a hold of Dr. Masad. He proceeded to drill a bunch of holes in my head to drain the fluid that was building up. I had an epidural hematoma that was developing, and he got me to a point where they could then safely drive me to Eastern Maine Medical Center, where they kind of finished the job.
I had had 2 major heart attacks. One small medication that saved my life was called a blockbuster. And just knowing that Down East Hospital had that intelligence, the equipment, the medication, they really saved my life.
They got him in really quick, diagnosed his issues very quickly, did a great job stabilizing him and preparing him for the flight to Bangor. Damon's doing great. He does whatever he wants to do, whether it be riding a dirt bike or playing baseball. He was an honor roll student at Washington Academy this year. Just having fun, being a 16-year-old kid, does whatever he wants to do.
Baseball is my favorite sport, and played it since I was 4 years old and watched the Red Sox every night.
I'm doing pretty well. I'm not back exactly as I was before the accident. I can do all the things I want to do pretty much. I'm a little dizzy at times. I look like I'm staggering around as if I'm drunk. But my life is back to pretty much as it was before the accident.
I love reading. I absolutely love my volunteer work. I do that every Monday and Thursday. And that right there is my lifeline in my life right now, my highlight. It gives me satisfaction. I love sitting with patients.
Down East Community Hospital in a first-class emergency department is critical for this community or any community. We have a lot of folks considering retiring in this community. They're not going to come here and buy a second home if we don't have quality health care. We have a lot of folks working in natural resource-based economy on or around heavy equipment, whether it be fishing, forestry, farming. And they need and deserve quality health care. They deserve a first-class emergency department. And in my opinion, the hospital has reached a point where it has a very strong board, has very strong leadership, and quality staff. The only missing piece to the puzzle is an adequate emergency department facility.
If I did not receive that care, I would not be here today telling my story. What I would ask is, what would we ever do without Down East Community Hospital? What would patients do that are critical? I mean, really critical. Just think of that, not just a few people, think of hundreds of lives have been saved over the years.
I would like to thank Down East Hospital for saving my life and getting me in and out of here as fast as I could.
I'm not sure we live in this community without a quality emergency department. In fact, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't, given the several traumatic experiences we've had with our own children.
And it's like everything else. It's like insurance. We pay insurance a lot with the idea we'll never use it. And this hospital is here, and hopefully most of us will never have to use that emergency situation. We intend that, we hope, we trust that's going to be the case. And we may pay money in different ways to keep that emergency operation going with the intent we'll never use it and hope we never use it. But if it's not there, we could end up in situations like myself where I would not be here.
Thank you for your time. I hope you found these testimonials to be as moving as I have. There are many stories out there just like these. It happens every day. It's what we do here at Down East Community Hospital. I'm asking you to please consider supporting our ER expansion project and our mission of continuing to be the best provider of healthcare services anywhere, right here in our community.